Welcome to the May edition of Spotlight on Bennington. I'm John Shanahan, the director of the Better Bennington Corporation, and once again we're bringing you a special inside look of some really exciting events that are occurring downtown. This month I'd like to welcome a very special guest, and that's Eric Peterson, the producing artistic director of Old Castle Theater Company, which I think you all know by now is joining us in downtown Bennington, right here on Main Street. Eric, thank you very much for allowing us in here today. And
well, thanks for coming to visit us. We're really excited about being downtown, I can tell you. It's been just fantastic, and the reaction throughout the community has been so optimistic and so encouraging, and we're just delighted to be here and can't wait to begin to produce shows and have classes here and all the range of activities that we're going to have.
Well, we're looking forward to it. And today we're going to go through some of the plans that you do have for activities coming up. And even just as exciting is you have some layouts of what this theater is going to look like once you get going on it.
We have a model, and we're trying to figure out exactly what the configuration will be. It'll be a very versatile theater. Sometimes it'll be three-quarters, sometimes it'll be proscenium, sometimes it'll be arena, which is theater in the round, so that people won't know when they're coming into the theater, well, what exactly will it look like this time? So it'll be a very versatile, flexible space, and it's going to be very exciting to work in.
Great, it sure is. And as I had mentioned, I was at the Select Board a couple of weeks ago. Live theater in Main Street in a town is what every town in the United States dies for. We're excited that it's coming.
It's communities across the country have used theater to help revitalize their downtowns, and we're really excited about being able to help Bennington do just that.
All right, so as we get started, I guess we're going to take you in different shots around the building, and maybe we should start first with the model that you have so that you can get a visual of what we're going to be looking at.
Great, let's go look at it.
Okay.
So John, this is the layout that we have in mind. It won't be exactly like this because we're still finishing design ideas and working with architects and engineers and our own designers who work with Old Castle, but we will have a lobby that you'll enter from the Main Street.
So this is Main Street.
This is Main Street here, and what will be, we're going to change the entrance so that it'll be straight in. There won't be any steps from the sidewalk, which will make it much more accessible. Then there will be a lift to get people up the sort of half flight of stairs for those who need it, and then they'll all be on one level and can get right into the theater. We're going to take down some walls eventually, not right away, so to create a larger lobby space. And then into the theater, and as I said, it will be versatile. At some times we'll have, this is sort of a three-quarter thrust, but at other times we'll have seats here so that it would be theater in the round or arena, and at times we might have them straight across so that it's proscenium. So it'll be a very versatile space, and will change from play to play. And then on the second floor, we have our office space, and we have more office space than we have ever had in any. We are backwards.
There we go.
Thank you. We have more office space than we've ever had before. We have a library. It's going to be just sensational. The control booth, which is here, will be where the lighting and sound systems are, and the stage manager will work from and be able to look down. We're going to build in a window, and then on the ground floor, the basement. I can just move this out. The ground floor is much like this space. The basement is much like the first floor in that it's a wide open space. We will divide it so that we'll have a scene shop here. On the other side, we'll have a rehearsal space / green rooms. Then with dressing rooms over here, we'll have space to build costumes in a small area here. We'll keep our costume storage space in the old mill on Benmont, and then we'll have some prop storage here. So this will be almost everything we could possibly want in a theater, and it'll be downtown, so it's just going to be sensational.
It is, and it's exciting looking at it, and then we're going to take some wide shots, and if you could translate this into how it's going to fit into the building. But just for somebody who might not know exactly where we are, if the camera shot there, this is Main Street right here. This is where Greenberg's is in Greenberg's parking lot.
Right.
So this is used to be the Knights of Columbus Hall.
Exactly.
Right on Main Street. So it's a great location too.
We're right across the street from Community College of Vermont. In fact, we're going to be teaching classes this summer, and they're going to be held at Community College while we're getting our space ready.
What type of classes?
There are going to be some acting classes and some improv classes. Eventually, we're going to have a wide range of singing classes, improv, acting. We're going to do classes for children, adults, and seniors. And we're also going to have the Old Castle Youth Theater for middle school and high school students again beginning this summer.
Taking place at CCV or over here?
We're hoping, we think the youth theater will be at Mount Anthony Union High School.
Oh, fantastic. I love when different organizations work together and it all ends up working, like they're doing the Workforce Investment Group.
Yes.
Which CCV and CDC do training for local businesses. The fact that you're working with them is great. Now, when you're doing classes over there, those aren't credit classes for any students.
No.
You're just working with...
There'll be Old Castle classes, but they'll take place at the CCV.
Oh, fantastic. Again, downtown, so I'm excited about that. And I'm going to put this back together here for a second. I'm assuming it's the right way, and then we'll take a walk around the building.
Sounds good.
And if you can show us what you were showing us here and how it's going to lay out in the building, and maybe we should start right at the front door.
That sounds good.
Okay, we're out front now, right on Main Street. So, Eric, if you would just give us an idea of what you are going to do to the front of the building, so they can see what's coming up.
The front of the building will look quite a bit the same as it has. These steps, if you can get those in the shot, they will go away so that it won't be steps up into the building. It'll be accessed for chairs, and then we'll open the door. We'll go in, and those steps, there will be some added steps, and there will be a lift probably over there on my left, again for wheelchair access. We're now in what will become the lobby of the new theater. We'll expand it somewhat, we hope, by being able to take down some walls. There will be space here for posters and large prints of production shots from some of the many plays we've done over the last 40 years. And we're also hoping to have space for local artists to present their artwork, which we think will be very exciting.
Oh, like a gallery.
A gallery. It'll be a small space, and we're not sure how many walls we'll still have. There'll be a box office area, and then it'll go right into the theater.
So I know, like during intermission, everybody comes out to the lobby. And so all of these walls come down, and that's what this area is going to serve as?
That's what we hope. There's a larger room there, which we're using for storage at the moment. We're still moving in, but if this wall could come down, it will create a much larger, much more open space for the lobby, which is what we want. That's the kind of an open feel that we are hoping to have.
And then this will still be the main entrance into the...
We think so, although that may change. This is a wider entrance than it has to be. So one of the things we're working on now in the planning stage is exactly where the entrance will be. There may be more than one entrance into the theater space, or we may just keep this as the main space. We're not sure.
All right. So when we take the camera, we'll just come right into the theater, and you can show us how the layout is going to end up.
Good. We're having a lot of fun playing with these seating modules as we try and figure out exactly how we'll be able to make this space versatile. The setup that I have here is roughly theater in the round. There will be stairs up to all of these seats. These can also go away, and then all of this becomes the stage, or they could be straight across, sort of like that, and we would have a basic proscenium.
Straight forward.
Straight in front of us, yeah.
Just to give people perspective one more time, here is the entrance.
That's the entrance.
Here is Main Street.
Main Street's there.
So you walk in, this area here is the lobby.
Right.
And come into the theater. And so whatever they find when they walk in, they shouldn't expect that every time they come.
It'll change, it probably won't change every single performance, but it'll change from time to time, certainly, yes. And what we have here is, if you can widen the shot a little bit, is a very large room, which is perfect when you're looking for a building to create a theater space in. You need a very large room. This has almost the height we need. There's a false ceiling that will come out, and that'll gain us another, maybe foot or so. We'll make it a little higher. The higher the better in terms of lighting. But we looked at many buildings downtown, as you know, John, and this is the building when we walked in, we said, oh, yes, this could be a theater, and you just instantly see it. And so many of the designers and actors who've worked with us who've come in and seen it now say exactly the same thing. Oh, I can see how it'll work. It'll be fantastic.
Oh, good to hear.
Yes.
Now these windows, these are backstage.
This will be backstage. They'll either go away or have to be blacked out. Windows are not friends in theater buildings generally. Yes.
And it is a great layout for a room, and the fact I think that it's not deep, it's wide.
It's very wide.
It keeps you nice and close to the stage.
And it will be a very intimate space. We're expecting somewhere in the neighborhood of 140, 150 seats, so no one will be very far from the theater, from the stage at all. And the acoustics we expect to be very good in here. And we'll help the acoustics some with soft goods and all, and we're working on that now. We're going to have a brand new sound system, a brand new, very much up-to-date lighting system, which we're really excited about. Our sound system is going to be the best we've ever had. Spencer Sweet is working with us on that. Gary Corey, a local architect whose office is right across the street, actually.
You're doing a great job keeping it all downtown.
Has been working with us. Peter Rubin has been consulting with us and has been an enormous help, and many of our designers, Richard Howe and Ken Mooney and Dave Groupé and others are working particularly in terms of figuring out the stage setup and the configuration for seats.
And I'm glad you mentioned Rick Howe. He's been with the theater for many, many years and does all the set design.
More years than either he or I want to admit.
Yes. Threw in one too many. But he's still with the theater.
He certainly is.
And he does your set design.
He's a set designer. He's an actor. He does most of our graphics. He does our payroll. He wears more hats than most people have owned in their lives.
Okay. A slacker he is not.
No, he is not a slacker.
It is great to see him in the shows too. And everybody's familiar with Rick, so I'm glad he's still coming down here with you.
We might even be able to get him on camera.
Is he?
It's possible.
He is here. Okay,
he is. So, he's usually around, and he is here. We might actually get him to come in and say something.
Here we are. We're talking about Rick Howe, and Rick, you're with us. Thank you very much for joining us, and congratulations and welcome downtown.
Thank you.
Rick, we're standing where what will be the stage?
Well,
sometime?
Often. I think that Eric, already kind of walked you through a little bit about how we're trying to figure out a way to have seats configured in different ways depending on what the show we're doing, and so we're intending to design flexible seating units so that we can move the stage area around. But I think quite often it will end up, in this area, which is against the west side of the building.
Facing Greenberg's?
Yes.
Or the parking lot of Greenberg's?
Right. And when we're doing somewhat more of a traditional setup where the audience basically is on, it's a proscenium, but in any configuration that we have, it's most likely to be something of a modified proscenium with a thrust that comes out toward the audience more, much like we had at the Art Center, but perhaps even more, because we had an apron in front of what was the actual proscenium on the stage. And it just brings the...
it'll be more intimate.
Yeah, it brings the audience closer. But you can also at the same time have a conventional kind of box set behind where a lot of the action happens. But this probably would be the place where the stage would be in those kinds of configurations, so that the audience would be against the east wall,
which is going to be
around.
Close.
Very close.
Nice.
Very close.
It's going to be a very intimate theater.
That's my favorite kind of theater.
Yeah, talks all the time who remember going to the Southern Vermont College Theater, and how they kind of miss the intimacy.
That was intimacy squared.
Yeah,
it was.
And so we're going to get back to that kind of a feeling.
Fantastic.
With a larger capacity, much more stage space to create pictures and cassettes.
We'll have more height, we'll have more width, we'll have more depth than we had at SVC, but it'll still be that very, very intimate feel.
Yeah. How many seats were at SVC?
Just about 104.
Yeah. Just about 104. Exactly 104?
Well, there were 104, and then there were a couple of benches, and depending on how large the people sitting on the benches were, we could get as many as 112, but maybe only 107 or 8 on those in the entire theater. Yes.
All right. Were those the benches up in the back?
In the very back.
Yep, I remember those. Back we used to walk in.
Yes.
Well, what I liked the way you were showing this model is you walk in, and there's some theaters you walk into if you're like using the restroom, and you feel like you're too close to the stage, and you're interrupting it. Here you can walk right into the back and around the back of the seating so that you can come right up to your seat.
In some configurations,
That's
that'll
true.
be true.
You can
It
switch it.
won't necessarily be true in all. It won't be true in all configurations.
Yeah. But I've always hated that. If I have to get up and leave or something, and feeling
Our shows are going to be
There's no
so
easy way out.
compelling. They're going to be so
No
compelling.
one's
You're
gonna
not
move.
going to want to leave for any reason whatsoever.
good to hear. I can't
Yes.
wait.
In most situations, you know, we're designing access steps to the seating that's on the upper levels, and you'll probably be able to
Sneak out. Okay.
tiptoe down.
I guess what I'm
and
saying is I
sneak
usually
around.
come back late from intermission feeling like a moron.
One of the things that's so exciting for us, for Rick and me and the others who work here, this company is 40 years old now. We've been around since 1972, but this makes us also brand new. Everything is new, and we're getting to rediscover not only what the theater will look like and how to design that, but we're able to look at the whole company and sort of redesign the company. And we're going to work really hard to become what we call a full-service theater company, in which we'll be presenting classes, we'll be doing cabarets. We want to use this space downtown as much as possible, because the more people we have coming here, the more often we have, the more they help fill restaurants, the more they go into shops, etc. So we're looking into showing movies. There will be speeches. There'll be all kinds of events going on here. We're hoping to, if we can get ready in time, we're hoping to get ready for Mayfest. We'd like to do some for kids. We'll bring in kids. We'll do some storytelling for them. We'll also do some makeup for them, and also it'll be a chance for the kids and their parents to get to see what the new space will look like.
So you think Mayfest you'll be open and doing something here?
That's our hope.
Okay.
That's
well,
our hope.
keep an eye out for it. If the doors are open and there's some signs out front, make sure you stop into the new old castle. The new old castle.
The new
Theater.
old castle. Yes.
Right here next to Greenberg's.
Shall we go downstairs and we can show you what the basement will look like?
Before we do, you know, we've talked about the building, but we really haven't talked too much about Old Castle Theater Company. You had mentioned it was 40 years old. Equity Theater.
We're an equity theater company. That's the Stage Actors Union. And we deal with two unions. We deal with Actors Equity Association, and we also deal with the Union for Directors.
Mm-hmm. What does that mean? And like the difference, why is it an equity theater?
Equity actors, it's sort of professional status in the profession. It's a profession that has no specific requirements, but you can only work in an equity house if you have an equity contract in most situations. Our general contract is what the union calls the first 5 actors have to be union, which means if we have a play with 5 or fewer people in it, everyone on stage plus the stage manager has to be equity. If we have a larger cast than that, then the other people they don't have to be, but they can be non-equity. And we'll be doing some larger productions here, so we'll use people from the community and surrounding areas. A lot of our actors are like Richard Howe, and they're local, and he's been an equity member since 1988, 89. And we bring in a lot of actors from the Albany area. We're using more and more of those actors. But we also have actors for each production from New York and various spots. We've had actors who've worked with Old Castle who have won Oscars, Tonys, Emmys, and Grammys, and we're very proud of that.
And I thank you for explaining it. And the reason I said that is we're part of the Downtown Association in Vermont, and I had mentioned theater coming down. I said we have an equity theater coming to Main Street, and it's ooh. So I knew it meant something.
It does.
That it's not community theater. Is that the
what we say is we're not a community theater, but we want to be the community's theater. And we're not a community theater because we hire professional actors. And that means that the professional actors not only get a pay rate that we negotiate with the union, but they also get pension benefits, they get health benefits, they get a really good package of benefits.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Okay, now we can go downstairs, and where Rick is going to be designing and creating the sets in the work area downstairs.
Yes.
Part of it.
A scene shop downstairs, which
Okay.
we can.
Excellent. Would you give us a tour?
Sure.
Great.
Are we on the move?
We are.
Okay.
So we're now down in the basement of the building. This will be where our set shop is, where our dressing rooms and green room and rehearsal space is. We'll also have spots here for constructing costumes. Rick, can you talk a little bit about what the layout will be down here?
Sure. We're standing in the, again, on the west side of the building, which is, and above us is where probably most of the time the performance stage area will be. But we have, well, it's a great big open basement room, but it's in great shape. Apparently, I've heard a lot of people say they used to do bowling down here.
There was a bowling alley down here.
Bowling alley downstairs. And I think I remember coming when I was in junior high to the bowling alley, which extended on that side of the room. But the scene shop will take up pretty much this side of the room, because we do need a lot of space, and we have one saw has moved in. A poor little sad-looking thing, but we have lots of tools that are still in storage that we're hoping to get here quite soon. And so the wall will go, can I move? The wall will go here where these supporting pillars already exist, which we want to leave so that the floor upstairs can bear all the weight of the many members of the audience that we expect. On the other side, so there'll be a wall here. On the other side will be a rehearsal space and green room. And the green room is generally the area that actors congregate in while they're performing or before they're performing, and they're adjacent to the dressing rooms. We will be building 2 dressing rooms on the south side of this wall, of this area, a men's room and a women's room. And over here where we already have some studs from, I don't know if that was ever a completed wall, but we're going to utilize that. On the other side of that, we will have a costume shop where we'll be able to build all the costumes that
we have at the old mill on Benmont a very large storage space where we have thousands of costumes. Yeah. John Goodrich, who owns the old mill, has been extremely generous to us for years in letting us store things there. And since we moved from our previous location, we've stored a lot of other things, including tools and books and I don't even remember what there. We had 3 storage spaces, and we're totally out of one of them and are beginning to work on the other 2 now.
So everything will be able to fit here?
So everything will eventually fit. Well, we'll keep the costume storage at the old mill. We don't have room for all our costumes there. That's also a space. Those costumes are also used by Bennington College and by Mount Anthony Union High School Drama Club and the theater arts class that Tim Foley and I teach at the Career Development Center. We all share the costumes. They're Old Castle's costumes, but they're used by all of us.
Yeah. Yes. Good to hear.
Yeah.
Good to hear.
I mean, Eric talked about when we first walked into this building after having seen many other buildings in town, how it just seemed to be so workable for a theater. And when I walked downstairs and saw, we have as much floor space here as there is upstairs. The footprint is huge and it's in great shape. It's, you know.
It really is. I said that to Alicia.
We're used to a flooded basement, you know, and this was like such a huge bonus because we also need a lot of support space. It's not just the stage and the auditorium.
This is an enormous upgrade for us to what we were used to.
I was shocked when I saw the basement. We're used to most of the basements downtown are dirt floor and you're walking like this. These are high ceilings down here and it's bone dry and finished off. Nice, and it's I don't know what it looks like on TV, but it's huge in this side. So thank you very much for showing us through, but for the time you gave us today to introduce everybody to the new location downtown.
Before we go, I would like to mention the Greenberg family that has been exceedingly generous to us and have made this possible to become our new home. We've been working with them for several months. Steve Greenberg and David Greenberg, and of course Norman Greenberg, who is a Bennington icon and has done so much for this community, and they have been extremely helpful to us, and we are very grateful to them. And they've given not only Old Castle, but we think downtown an enormous boost with this.
Without a doubt. And on top of that, as though that's not enough, the Greenbergs also own Greenbergs, the lumber yard and the home improvement center in downtown, which is another item that most downtowns would die to have. And
it's a real magnet for downtown Bennington.
Without a doubt.
Absolutely.
It's going to be very handy for us because
yes. Our set equipment, we can just walk across and boom, there it is.
We're building a show, we'll be over there 20 times a day.
Yes. Oh, fantastic. Good for them too then. Well, again, thank you, Rick Howe. Thank you, Eric Peterson. Congratulations. Welcome downtown. We're going to keep you updated when some of the changes start making. If you don't mind, we'll pop in and
we'd love that.
Keep people up to date. And don't forget to stop here on Mayfest and pop in and see what they're doing and see what activities are hopefully going on. And is there a number that anybody could call to see, like once the schedule starts coming up? Your plan is for the fall season.
The best thing to do is check out our website. Just Google Oldcastle and it will come up. We are in the process of trying very hard to get our old telephone numbers back, and that has proven to be more difficult than we ever imagined. But so at the moment we have new numbers, but before we give those out, we have one more shot to get back our old numbers, and we're hoping we'll be able to do that.
Okay, but right now they can go to the website.
Absolutely, and we'll be updating the website on a regular basis.
Google Oldcastle.
Just Google Oldcastle Theater Company and you'll find it easily. We come up first.
All right, great. Well, again, thank you both very
John.
much. And before we close out, I'm going to take you outside to close out the show, tell you a little bit about some of the events coming up, and we're going to take you out to the parking lot of Greenberg's, where a dragon has appeared, and as you've noticed all over town, they're popping up here and there. But an interesting one's right out in front of Greenberg's, and we'll meet you outside and tell you what's coming up. We got lucky here, and I'm sorry for the background noise, but as we were coming out to the Dragon, we bumped into Robin James from Greenberg's. Robin, thanks for joining us. Who are we standing in front of?
This is Fu. One of our staff members, Megan, with help with some other guys, put this guy together to help celebrate the Year of the Dragon. We're really excited about everything that's going on in Bennington, and we just think that the energy and strength and good fortune that the Year of the Dragon symbolizes is perfect for us and for all of Bennington. So we really wanted to participate. So thank you for stopping by and getting a picture of this critter. Hopefully you'll see some of our others that are here guarding our lumber yard across the street. And
who are the two across the street?
Across the street, one's across the street, one's on the other end. Go down Washington Avenue and you'll see Smokey and Puff guarding our lumber yards, and they have an offspring, little Ash, who's riding around on one of our trucks visiting all our customers with deliveries, and it's really fun.
Smokey, Puff, Ash, Foo, and you said there's another one coming.
Foo's got some relatives coming shortly, so keep watch.
Oh, that's excellent. So good for you guys. And it's funny you brought up the Year of the Dragon with the blessings it's supposed to bring, because things are really starting to happen, and it's nice to see it. And especially we gave thanks for Greenberg's inside for not only making that happen, but for all the events that are occurring here. And one of them we wanted to specifically bring up is, as you can see the sign behind me, is the Walloomsac Farmers Market is also coming down, and maybe you can't see the sign behind me. How's that? The Walloomsac Farmers Market on Saturdays is still over behind the Bennington Station at the end of Riverwalk, and that's Saturdays from 10 to 1. But the good news is their Tuesday afternoon market has moved to the Greenberg's.
Yes, they're going to have their Tuesday afternoon set up here, hoping to attract a few more customers or local people who didn't find them on Tuesday afternoons to be right here on a very visible street. They're going to be here from 3 to 6 Tuesday afternoon starting June 5th, I think it is. And we're going to have a little mini pedestrian walkway right here for people to come in and stop by and take advantage of all their great goods.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Robin, and thanks for all the work that you guys are doing. It's exciting, and we love having you downtown. We were talking inside of all the towns that have lost their home improvement centers and lumber yards in downtown, and we still got one, and it's doing great.
We love being here. Thank you. Welcome to Greenberg's Garden Center, and we're really proud to feature a lot of locally made items here this year. The Adirondack furniture you're looking at right now is made locally by Rick Okerman. He's been doing this for us for a couple years now, and they're great pieces of furniture. We just love them. We have another number of other local artists doing things for us. John George does the pine Adirondack furniture for us. We've got some beautiful handmade pots from Lynn Boodle. We've got very unique and interesting birdhouses made by Roy Ware and Gary Briggs. And it's just wonderful having all these local items added to all the other things we have here for your summer enjoyment.
And Robin, your garden center is now open.
Yes.
And it's open whenever the store is open, people can come in, walk through the garden center?
Yes.
Great.
Plants are arriving tomorrow, I believe. So we're going to have a lot more color added to this space real soon. Fantastic.
It's full of furniture too, yard furniture, and not yard furniture that I used to remember. This looks more like living room furniture. It's beautiful, and you have a lot of stock here too.
We encourage people to stop by and just test drive all the pieces. They're bound to find something they love.
Great. Well, Robin, thanks again for joining us. And sorry we had to drag you into the garden center, but we saw it open, and it looks so interesting. And I know the fact that you have local crafters and artists here is great for downtown. It's great for Greenberg's, and it's great for local artists too. So thanks for your time, and we appreciate again everything.
Thank you.
I thought we'd finish out the show in a little interesting spot. I know you all recognize where I am. I'm at Jimmy Joe's Curbside Grill. Alicia and I were walking by and realized that he was still setting up, and we thought, well, the cat's away, the mice will play. So here I am at a great stop while you're downtown, but I thought I'd use this spot just to close out the show. We're going to close it out with some activities that are coming up this month. As you know, it's May, and every year it's Mayfest. This year it's May 26th. It's Saturday, it's Memorial Day weekend. It's going to be starting right here on Main Street. It goes from the Four Corners down to Valentine Street. And I take that back, it goes even further. It goes all the way down to where Pleasant and Union come together. This year, as a reminder, the Walloomsac Farmers Market will be joining us. They'll be set up with all the vendors and food demos, starting at Valentine Street, which is right near the First Baptist Church, going all the way down to the junior high school. In addition, we have all the kids' activities, the rock climbing wall, the dunking booth. We have a simulator, a train simulator that's joining us this year, and all the activities for the kids, the big activities will be set up in Lenny Nichols parking lot, plus all the nonprofits that are joining us, and there's about 15. Each one of them will have an activity for the kids too. That's so that you can come down, make a day out of it, and keep the kids interested while you get to enjoy over 75 crafters. This year we have 25 new crafters joining us, and so we hope each year that the show is a little different and keeps it interesting as you come down. Again, School Street will be set up with the food vendors. We have almost 20 food vendors, a lot of ethnic food. It's German food, Indian food. We have seafood. Timetables is joining us this year, which is a really nice addition to the show. So there's going to be some great selections, and of course the entertainment. Diane St. Clair from the Better Bennington, she's arranged right now about 20 entertainers. We have 6 stages set up and down Main Street. So there is something for everybody, as everyone knows, at the 27th Annual Mayfest. Mark your calendars, a couple of weeks away. But before that, on May 18th and 19th is the annual library book sale. It takes place at the First Baptist Church on East Main Street. That is the evening of the 18th. It's a $10 charge to get in, but that's for a sneak preview. And that starts, I believe, at 6 o'clock. It goes until 9 o'clock, and you pay $10, but you get first choice at the thousands of books, so it's worth it. And it's a very, very busy event, so get here early, get in line, get in. It's also open on Saturday. Saturday, it's no charge to get in, and that starts at 9 o'clock in the morning, and it goes until 4 o'clock at night. So First Baptist Church, May 18th, 19th, it's a fundraiser for our library. So please come down and join us, and get here on Friday, get that first pick of the books. All right, so we're wrapping up the show, but before we go, I just got caught. So,
all right, you got any good food here?
Oh yeah, we got everything good. What is it you want?
Nothing, I'm not hungry.
Nothing, okay. A little chilly today, but I'm glad to see you're out here. Everybody knows Jim Carroll from Jimmy Joe's Curbside Grill and our new Select Board member. Congratulations and thank you for running. And here we are at the Curbside Grill. Jim, just before we end the show, what are your hours out here?
11 to 4 during the
Speak loud.
11 to 4 during the cooler months, and then 11 to 5, 6-ish during the summer months.
Thanks again for joining us. We'll see you next month. Make sure you stop by at the bookshop, at Mayfest, at Greenberg's, and keep your eyes out for all that's happening down here at the Old Knights of Columbus and the new Old Castle Theater.